Okay, it says we're live. So here goes. Welcome from the crossroads of America to a talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I got a Patreon page, PayPal, and all that other good stuff all down in the information section below. So, got that done with. Let's see who we got in the chat so far. First in was Gun Loving Grandpa, then Guns and Barbecue, Jason Stewart, the Gun Snob, Southpaw RX, Raphael. So they're starting to come in. You know, so on a Saturday afternoon, hell, why not? Unless you're out doing something nice with the family or shooting or whatever. Ohio 45 is here. Good to see you. All right. So far in my panel, I've got New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Then I got the man from New York City, Blind Shooter.
Greetings, everybody.
Jesus Christ, I got two New Yorkers in here. You know?
You should consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I mean, why we're I was just hey, Guns and Barbecues just joined us in the panel. You don't know, I was just reading an article a few minutes ago. I'm not going to talk about it much, but it sort of made me laugh and sad all at the same time. In California, in Santa Clara, that sheriff's department has been. If you wanted a CCW, if you put money towards her re-election campaign, you miraculously managed. You could get a CCW from that county. Isn't that surprising? Anyway, they done an investigation. They're, they had the grand jury. She pleaded the fifth to every question. So see where it goes from there. I'm glad they found the scam, and hopefully it. I think I'm glad they got caught. I think it's a shame that you have to go that route to pay to somebody's re-election fund to get the license. It's bad enough that you have to pay for a license to start with, But anyway, and talking about licenses, I think it has been tried a couple of times up at the State House here in Indiana, but it hasn't made it. But like I think I mentioned this a couple of months ago, starting this past July, they have two licenses here. You can have a firearm license for life, and I think by the time you paid everything on it, it's about $100. Or now, as of July 1st, you got a 5-year license, and it's free. So to me, what I'm thinking is the next step has got to be if you don't have to pay for a carry license. You know what I'm saying? The next step is to go constitutional carry, and I'm hoping that's how it works. So, hey, John Brown Productions has joined us in the chat. Good to see you. Okay, my topic, as you see my line, what is this people being tactical all about? What made me bring that up was, and I don't really want to talk about it because it's been talked to death on every gun channel out there about the 17-year-old, taking out those 2.5 people. And he done it without any tactical gear on. All he had was his AR. And so as a civilian, why do you need to look like a goddamn soldier? What's the word they use for those SEALs that are the best? you know, now can't think of the word they use for them now.
Berets.
SEAL Team 6.
No, there's a word. There's a word for it.
Delta?
No.
Frogman.
No. I can't think of it. It come to me. But anyway, why does a civilian have to look like that? To me, operator. That's it. You know, why does he have to look like that? I mean, like a good example when I said this before. When you see rallies on TV or somebody's videoed them on YouTube and everything else, and you see this guy all decked out like he's the best operator there is, I think it's hilarious. I think he looks stupid. I think he really looks stupid walking around like that.
A little crazy.
Why do people do? I mean, what am I missing something here?
I don't know.
I know it's our right to do that, but I can't see the point in it. Am I missing something here?
I think what it goes to is there's just a love affair with the military. And I'm not saying that in a negative way or anything, but people see, like you said, the operators in the military dressed up like that. And, just like, Berettas were the military sidearm, people wanted M9s and all that fun jazz. Now it's the SIG P320 and everybody wants to get their hands on those. And that's part of the reason why these manufacturers want these military contracts. I mean, granted, the military contract's great, but they're not making a whole lot of money on those. I mean, if you look at what SIG's selling the P320 to the government for, it's not a lot of money. Where they're making their money is the civilian market with everybody that's like, oh, if the military has this, it's got to be a great gun. I want it. And it's the same thing with, getting dressed up and, wearing BDUs and tactical vests and gloves and whatever else.
You've got mail. Yeah, Jason Stewart says it's a fashion statement. Which I agree with you. I think it is a fashion statement. And also is unfortunately in today's, and I said this before, in today's environment with the media against the Second Amendment and stuff, at rallies, at protests, if somebody's dressed up like that, that's where the camera goes to. Because yes, you're allowed to do it. You can protest looking like that. I'm not arguing that, but that's where the media, that's where their cameras focus on. Because the reason they're focused on you, because you stand out. That is your, your card carrying NRA member, a redneck. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, that's my personal opinion on it, but I could be totally wrong. What do you think, New York Outcast?
I think a lot of it kind of stems over from the military and the industry.
I mean, do you have all that garb?
Yeah, I have some of that.
I mean, okay. Why?
I still roll my shirts. I still, basically do things. I don't know. When you do things a certain way for a while, you just kind of stick to it. So I don't know whether you call it institutionalized or whatever you want to call it, but I'm sure that's not the right word, maybe. But I don't know. Kind of fits with you sometimes when you first get some of that stuff, you hate it, and then it just kind of, I don't know, it just fits. But I think a lot of people kind of overjudge the tactical stuff. Like, people have gone as far, in my opinion, as saying, cargo pants are tactical. And in my opinion, I don't know, they're functional. They could be multi-use, but I wouldn't necessarily call cargo pants tactical. But
I wouldn't either.
Pockets are good. A lot of guys carry things. On a hike, you throw a soda in there, you can have first aid kit, extra magazines, whatever you want to carry. Is a lot easier than fitting in a jean pocket. But I don't know. I think, and then there's a lot of people look at this generation and the culture, look at the last 10 years of action movies, things like that. People want to be, they get kind of the same thing with Barbie. People get brainwashed into thinking they got to be a certain way to be accepted in certain communities and things like that. So, in the end, I think skill trumps gear every time. So, and that's pretty much all I got to say on that. Gear helps, but just because you buy a surfboard doesn't make you a surfer.
Yeah. Gunsnob says, operators dream of being as tactical as me in my cowboy boots. What about you, Blind Judah? You know all that tactical stuff?
I am, but I'm nowhere near as an idiot like the guys that are out there in the rallies with their stuff. I mean, I have the bulletproof helmet and the bulletproof vest, but I'm not out wearing that going to any rallies or anything. I mean, the most I've ever really done was had the bulletproof vest on, but I kept it underneath my jacket, and the only reason I was wearing it is because I had to go into a high crime neighborhood where shootings were on the rise for work.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand you wearing one, like the vest if your job calls for it. You know what I'm saying? But just to wear one to make people think that you look cool or that you're some hot shit operator, to me is I honestly think it's hilarious. Now the bullets start flying. Are you going to stay alive longer than me? I guess you are, because you've got the bulletproof vest on.
See, I always contributed like the tactical guys that are out there at the rallies with, the flashy Kevlar, all the tactical gear, and like all the bells and whistles on the rifles, to the guys that are out there driving the $100,000 sports cars. Like, who are you trying to impress? I mean, we all know you got a baby dick. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that Democratic rep said, isn't it? He goes, people with guns, because they got small Gentiles or Gentiles or whatever he called it.
I don't want to start trouble, but I think there's a small percentage that does apply to. I think honestly, there's just a lot of pussies that rely on their firearm. They're afraid to take a hit. I mean, it crosses the board with police officers, with gun owners. Some people just, they talk a lot of crap, but they really don't. They're scared to have any skin in the game. So I hate to say that towards the community, but I think some people do hide behind their guns.
Yeah, I do too. Oh, okay. Man, I was hoping for more of I don't know what I was hoping for out of that conversation, but as you said, I mean, you see him. I mean, I think I'm going back now to back in January when you had them. Was it 20,000 people there in Virginia, and there was a couple of people walking around in all that tactical gear, even with the night vision goggles on top of their helmets and shit. I'm thinking, oh my God, I think that's going a bit too far. You need night. I mean, for one, if somebody busts in your house at night, you hear the door go bang, and next thing you know, if you got time, you wake up, and most people, when most people wake up startled, I mean, are you going to think about grabbing your night goggles and your gun and your boxer shorts running down the hallway? I don't see it, But hey, I guess if they got the money to do it, and as you said, I mean, that's where a lot of these manufacturers make their money, is on the civilian side. But to me, it's just, Ohio 45 plays ego, fantasy, and appearance.
There'll be plenty of gear to collect.
I would like to toss out there that some of the clothing is actually really comfortable. When I started working corrections, that was the first time I ever had to wear BDUs, and I thought those were the most comfortable pants ever. Then I ended up getting my own BDU dress pants that were 511s. This was before all the controversy with whatever they did. And I still have those to this day. And they are some of the most comfortable pants that I have, and I like wearing those with a good polo shirt when I'm open carrying because it has a professional look to it. But at the same time, I kind of hate wearing them because you get that tactical operator vibe, and that's not what I'm going for.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But then again, why does a correction officer need BDUs for?
Plenty of reasons. I mean, I used to pack the cargo pants just with rubber gloves because you never knew what you're gonna happen onto. I could be doing rounds and have to go enter a cell, and at that point, you would have guys that would jerk off into Vaseline and then go and rub it on somebody's door handle. Well, you don't want to be touching that. So before I'd enter any cell, first thing I'm doing is gloving up. So I would have all sorts of rubber gloves just in my cargo pockets, but then have in place for different sets of keys, mace if you were carrying mace on you, handcuffs. I would always keep a small book on my person with a pen and paper, all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Jerking off into Vaseline.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then,
You left the stock out.
I'd last one day as a corrections officer before I killed somebody for doing that.
Yeah, me too. I think I'll become part of the inmates. I think if I worked there for one day,
I state with correction officers, EMTs, a lot of things like that. That is, considered part of a uniform as well in some cases. So, which obviously, state shows a unified force of some sort, which people naturally recognize. Obviously, one man out solo somewhere looks, stands out, but something like that. That's probably part of the job or requirement. You have a very strict list of what's okay and what's not okay.
But that's a good point what you just said there. Yeah, I mean, I've noticed in the last 20 years, police, your EMTs, your prison guards, and all them, everybody's sort of like gone over to that, for lack of a better word, military look, wearing BDUs as their uniforms. I find it kind of strange that that they never used to wear that kind of stuff, and they managed to go around for years without wearing that kind of stuff. But now they got all the services. That's practically what the uniforms are now. It's just weird to me. I think it's a conspiracy. See, the government is taking over.
Extra pockets are great.
They've got all that. They got all these people already in their BDUs, and when Order 66 comes down, they're all of them turn into operators because they're ready. They're dressed for it.
That's why you wear Carhartt, because Carhartt is better than any BDU you can buy. Midnight Range says not everyone could wear a Speedo at work like you did, Rick. I can't even fit into a Speedo. I don't think they make them in my size. So.
Rick gets done chopping up the meat. And they're like, Rick, were you in the cooler again? Is that why?
Oh yeah, I mean I used to freak. I mean, some customers I used to freak them out. I'll be in the back doing whatever I'm doing. I become part. I mean, I knew meat cutters who could stand there, and at the end of an 8-hour shift, their apron is as white and clean as it was when they walked in. Me, when I walked out, I mean, I was covered from blood head to toe. My apron is absolutely bright red and everything else. Normally, my boss used to make me change my apron. When I went to lunch, I had to come back and put a clean one on because mine was so covered in blood. I tell you, I don't know how I did it, but I used to really get in it. But there we go. Okay. Military does things for a reason. People find out those reasons usually make the job easier. All right, Patriot. Why ain't you in here anyway? You using your daughter as an excuse not to be on the panel today?
Yeah, we could have a blind majority on this chat.
You know?
He's probably out being tactical.
Okay. Jason wants to know, what are BDUs?
Battle dress uniform.
There you go.
But basically, in my experience, they're just glorified cargo pants. But like I said, the pair of 511 ones that I have are the most comfortable pants I've ever had. Absolutely love them. But again, there's that whole controversy with them. So
yeah, I'm not sure exactly what 511 did, but yeah, I know what you mean. They're taboo now. That's like that knife maker. If you don't touch a knife from, was it Benchmark?
I think Bench Top.
Whatever it was, that one who's cutting all them guns up. They said, "Oh, we'll cut them in half."
Technically, BDUs are more than glorified cargo pants. Just to be clear in a sense. So you can fit a few sizes into a single pair, for one. For two, they have like blouse dressings. You have strings to tie around your boot, and that so you can, if you are in a if it is a uniform, it can look nice and neat. Your knees are reinforced, your pockets are wider, you have the gusset crotch in it, and basically it's a lot more durable. So it can take definitely more wear and tear by far than your cheap Walmart cargo pants. So there is
definitely.
Yeah.
Belt loops are wider.
All right. Question: plate carriers. How heavy are they?
You're looking rough about maybe 15 pounds, give or take.
That's awful lightweight. I mean, what kind of bullet is that thing going to stop?
It all depends on what level plate you have in it.
What type as well, whether it's ceramic, steel.
Well, I mean, if it's steel, it's going to be heavier than ceramic, isn't it? I mean, like my little steel targets. I mean, I got one sitting right here. The 6-inch steel target. That thing, that's some weight sitting there.
Homemade steel ones are heavier than my old ceramic ones.
Yeah.
They were 8 pounds a piece. So that's 16 when you add it up. Then you're actually, your carrier. So, but most people I think are buying these for that one day, and that one day they're going to make it down the block and be gasping for air. And I realize that that weight does make a difference.
So that's how I always like to tell people. I mean, you can buy all the body armor you want, but if you're not physically fit enough to walk and run with it, it's going to do you no good when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, that's what I mean personally. Like me, look at me. Can you see me running down the road with all that shit on?
Well, I can't really see anything, Rick, but thanks for trying to make me feel better.
Well, okay, imagine me running down the road with all that gear on. I'll be like a goddamn beach whale out there.
Do we have to imagine that with the Speedo again?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Because I'm not wearing my cargo pants. I'm wearing a Speedo with my plate carrier. And I don't have an AR, so there we go. Ohio says 308 for steel plates. He would expect it to be about 40 pounds. If you're wearing a bulletproof vest or whatever. So there you go. Anyway, I mean, a good example is, I was watching a show the other day. I've noticed it. Well, but if you watch, like I watch a lot of British TV, and British cops, a lot of them don't more carry guns today than they ever used to. But a lot of them don't. But if you look, they all wear a vest when they're out there now. And it's not a bulletproof vest. It's a knife-proof vest, so they don't get stabbed.
Smart on their part.
Oh yeah, because knives are a big, big problem over there.
Yeah. Seems very smart, and I would think they do sell clothing like that here as well. That actually almost looks like regular clothing. So it's a bit more affordable than actually bulletproof, which is actually available too.
Midnight Range, Guns and Barbecue. Just imagine Rick in his Speedo and his 5'11" pants got tight. Oh, man, that's a sight.
I'm imagining nothing.
Now, if you start imagining that, you'll never get out of your brain. You know what I'm saying? It'll be there for life.
Now, are they wearing Cavalier line gloves as well, Rick, by any chance? Because those are actually quite affordable as well.
Okay.
I was about to mention those. I've actually got a pair from the uniform shop years ago. They're pretty darn durable. They hold up well.
They got the tacky cool ones for what I've come across about $50 on average.
I used to
and the cheaper ones for like almost $8, $10 a pair.
I mean, like when I was meat cutting, I wore a glove that if I slashed it with my knife, it wouldn't cut my hand, but you could still poke it. The tip of the knife would go through it.
I recently heard about gloves that are supposed to be resistant to needle sticks, which I think would be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Oh, anyway, that's what I was thinking about today, the tactical stuff. With that kid up there, didn't have any of that, and it sort of said, look what you can do. You don't even need it, But I get to me,
tactical 1-point sling might have helped them out a little bit.
Yeah. But anyway, he I mean, at one point there, he's lucky he had a sling. I mean, I'll give it credit there. If you're going to carry an AR around, or even an AK, or any kind of rifle, put a damn sling on it, because at one point, like when he started to fall over, he put his hands out to stop himself. And if you don't have a sling on, that gun goes flying. Then you're really in the shits. So I mean, I do say that if you do that. I mean, but the more I think about it, I need to get myself I just think about it now. All I've got rifle wise is a lever action 22. That's it. In rifles. Then I got a 12-gauge pump shotgun. That's it. The rest of my weapons are pistols. I've got they're all semi-automatic except for my Taurus Model 85, which is that little 38 special 5-shot revolver. Oh, and I got you're not allowed to show it anymore. Plus, I got I guess it's classed as a revolver. I got a little 22 North American Arms 22 Magnum, single action in my pocket here. So there we go. I mean, so I need to get the rifle. And I don't like. I got rid of my AR lookalike, my 15-22. I swapped it for the other 20 for the Winchester 22 lever action, because I personally myself don't like I just don't like the looks of them. Maybe because it's that
Mini
tactical.
14,
Maybe
right?
because it's that tactical shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm being stubborn. You know what I'm saying? So,
Remember the 18 Mini 14?
so,
The wood
so I need to
stock.
get. I need to get I do need to get a rifle of some sort. You know, semi-auto something. You know, I mean, even I'm looking at buying even that bolt action. Even a bolt action that maybe carry 5 or 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying? That would
Get a Mini
work.
14.
So, yeah, I was looking at getting me one of those that are selling right now quite cheaply. One of those it's called Conos. Is that how you pronounce it? You know, for $250, and since I have a CNR license, it'd be delivered right to my front door. I don't have to go to an FFL because I am the CNR or FFL. That's the one advantage of having that. And honestly, I've only got one CNR weapon here, and that's a P64. That was delivered to my house when I lived in Rhode Island. I should use it more, but I don't even think about it when I'm looking at guns. You know what I'm saying? I should, because there's nothing wrong with mil spec guns. There's some nice ones out there. I would love to have an M1 Grant? Is that how you pronounce it? You know? So, I don't know. Anyway, next topic. Did anybody see that article about the New Jersey governor is put forward to make up for some of his losses for the close down? You've got to have an ID to purchase a firearm in New Jersey. I can't remember the name of it, but it costs $5.
Yeah, fit card.
He's putting it up to $100. And then you got to have a license for the actual. You got to have a license to buy one. Then you got to have a license for the actual particular gun you have. And that was $2, and he's putting it up to $50. You know,
Pretty big jump.
That is. Oh, Night Strike said you still got to log it into your CNR logbook. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, here, this is a CNR logbook right here. This is what they give you. So, you know, plus that's the only one I found. Unless I have to go through the envelopes. See if there's any other, but I can't find any sort of like logbook. I have to look. There might be, but I don't think so. I think you can buy one. You know, an actual looking book. I'll have to check.
Buy something from something like a stationery store and just
yeah. And actually, you know what? Thinking about it, I think I do have one. I think I did buy one. Where in the hell did I do with it? I don't remember seeing it when I moved here. Maybe that's.
I recommend keeping it in a plastic case, Rick, just in case. One day, if you ever leave and have a fire at the house, come back, you don't end up losing it. So.
Yeah,
at least from water damage or something. I mean, obviously it could burn, but don't keep it in your safe or whatever. But
yeah. So now, I mean, right now, I said I've only got the one firearm, and it is written down in one of these log things they gave me. But if I ever get rid of it, I have to log it that it left my possession, that I sold it or gave it to somebody. That information has to be put in there too, in case they ever come knocking on the door. You know, I said that's the only downside of having one of those. They can come to your house anytime to check on what CNR firearms you have. You know, so, there we go. But where was I? Yeah, so those taxes that they're put on. I mean, I think it's diabolical that the governor is doing that, making the 2A community pay for his bad politics, his bad management of his state. You know, he's the. I mean, yes, they shut it down, but he's the one who made it almost impossible to do anything. I know New Jersey was very close to, New York City with the epicenter, but still, I mean, he throttled his own state literally, and I mean the same as the governor of New York or New York City. They absolutely throttled it. They killed it, and what do they expect?
They did it on purpose. Try to get federal money, and what everybody kind of overlooks, New York State has a death tax. A lot of these people that were dying were old in these homes, and who owns a lot of assets in Valley? It's usually the older people.
Oh, Ohio 45.
Where does that go? To the state or the nursing home? So
Yeah,
I don't know. I think something was going on because it just, I don't know. And that, New York doesn't do anything without money.
Yeah. Oh, Ohio said most people won't care about these increases in fees in New Jersey because it won't affect them. Same as they did in Ohio when they added a tax on cigarettes to pay for the new sports arena. Yeah. The people in New Jersey who are not into guns are not going to care about the increase of those licenses because it doesn't affect them. But I still think it's wrong. I mean, that's like a good example. I mean, when I left Rhode Island, I think a pack of cigarettes was $10, and I think $6 of that was taxes to the state. So I mean, it's outrageous what they do to try to get money.
But the thing is, I don't think this raising the cost on these licenses is to try and make up for their losses or anything like that. Because, I mean, really, how many people in New Jersey are having these licenses and permits and renewing them at this time? It's just about more infringement upon the Second Amendment in that state.
Yes. This is what I was going to say. I think he's only doing it because he got forced. Because originally he said they were not. It wasn't essential, and he got forced into changing it. That stores and guns and stuff were essential, and I think this is his way of payback. You've made me do this. Now you're going to pay the price for me making me do it. That's personally what I think it is.
And then you think about it, there's going to be people who want to become new firearms owners like we're seeing all over the country right now. They could be looking at, well, I can get this gun for, $400 or so. But then if they're looking at an extra $100 for this license and $50 for this permit and whatever else, all of a sudden, that $400 on that gun plus tax and transfer fee and all that BS, and then these licenses, all of a sudden, they could be looking at more like $600, and that could be enough to deter them and say, well, I can't afford this.
Yeah, you're right.
Still need ammo.
That's what I mean. Is it? I'm trying to think. Is it in Washington State or was it in Oregon where that city put a heavy tax on ammo and guns inside the city limits? So everybody inside the city limits, is they go outside the city limits to buy their stuff, their firearms and their ammo.
I think it was Seattle, but I could be wrong.
And there's only one gun store left in that city, and the only reason they're still going is because they have another branch outside of the city, and so that's where they just send people to pick it up. So, hey, Rich White's joined us. How you doing? Oh yeah. So it's just another way to infringe. It's all we know. Everything's an infringement, and we got to take every win a little piece at a time. You're not going to get any president or any Congress to wipe every gun law off the books in one sweep. It ain't going to happen. Yes, we want to see the the NFA gone. We want to see that. We want to see that stupid law that some of the stuff that went in the sixth. The ATF needs to go too. But all that stuff needs to go. But it's not going to happen. And the president is not going to sign some executive order saying every gun law is illegal. From now on, the Second Amendment is going to be how it's written. Shall not be infringed. It just ain't going to happen in one swoop. So we got to take it a little bit at a time.
Well, the thing is, the president couldn't do that with executive order anyways, even if he tried.
Yeah, I know. But I was trying to, even if somebody passed a bill in the House saying that, and it passed the House, and it went to the Senate, and it passed the Senate, it would never get that far. You know what I'm saying? Because they just won't do it in one sweep. So we got to take every win a little bit. We got to take it a little bit at a time. It's inconvenient and it's wrong, and you've got to play the game. And that's a bad expression. You got to go along with. A good example. I'm trying to think of an example. Like in Rhode Island, when I went to get my CCW, what I had to go through to get it is totally, totally unconstitutional and illegal. Like having to sign a waiver for the police to look at my mental health records, if I had any in the state. I had to sign 9 different pieces of paper for every institution in the state. There was 9 of them in Rhode Island who had to do with mental health. I had to sign a waiver to every one of them for that institution would give information to the police about me. Of course, there was nothing on me, but I shouldn't have to had to do that. But if you wanted the CCW, you're going to do it. If you said no, I ain't doing it, then you're not going to get a CCW in that state. It's better to get it than fight to get that changed once you've got it. And that's what was happening before I left. People were fighting to say that is wrong.
Well, did they have open carry then?
Where?
Rhode Island.
No.
I would have fought that tooth and nail, because there's no reason that you should have to divulge your medical records to exercise your Second Amendment.
I'm not arguing that point. I 100% agree with you. But if you said you were going to fight that tooth and nail, right now in Rhode Island, you still will not be able to carry because you wouldn't have a license because you didn't do it.
Same in New York.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to play the game. You get the license, do what they want to get the license, then you fight it after you got your license. The people after you will have a better chance. They were working on a new. They got some. There was people, and there were some state representatives who understood who were Second Amendment friendly, and they were trying to get bills passed to say that's. For one, that's against the What-You-Call-It Act. What's the word for it? By divulging your medical information. What's the word I'm looking for?
HIPAA.
HIPAA, yeah. That's against HIPAA anyway. Do that. So, that's like, theoretically, the way HIPAA is written, me asking you how you feeling medically is technically wrong. Because it's none of my business, and I'm not meant to ask you.
Oh, no, you're allowed to ask, but if I were to tell you and say, hey, this is private, you're not supposed to be able to go and tell anybody.
That's right. And and if you say no, I can't say you've got to tell me, But anyway, that's why it's tough. So we got to take these little wins one at a time. And it seems like, I know I'm very defeatist on here. But if you actually look at it, we made some headways. Unfortunately, that California attorney, he did file an appeal of the magazine ban. So the stay is still in place. You still cannot get more than 10-round magazines in California. He wants the what they call it, en banc, 11 judge panel to review the case. Now, how long is that going to take? For that to could take another year before that happens. So all he's doing is dragging it out. But if they go the other way and say no, it's not unconstitutional, and the ban stayed, then of course the people who took the original thing, they can appeal it. Then it would go to the United States Supreme Court. So would they pick it up? I don't know. I'm hoping they will. But you need to get rid of that wishy-washy. What's his name? Roberts. He's starting to flip-flop. He needs to go.
Well, don't forget, Kavanaugh didn't vote to take up any of these cases either, and everybody thought he was going to be the second coming.
Yeah, but you're right. But he also did say that the Supreme Court should, before they denied all those, he did, because there was that New York case that got denied, or because it's mute now. He said a Second Amendment case should be looked at. He did say that in that write-up, that what they call it, his dissent or whatever they call it, that the Supreme Court should look at a Second Amendment case.
Even if he says that, if he votes to not hear any of them, what does it matter if he says that?
Yeah, well, but the reason they did that is because they couldn't guarantee that fifth vote. They'll pick one up. If four people believe in it and they think they can get the 5 votes, they'll pick it up. If 4 of them believe it and they don't think they can get the 5th judge to go along with them, what's the point? So that's why, that's the way it was I interpreted, or it was explained to me by somebody who's smarter than I am. So say the 4 of them pick them up. Who they're worried about is Roberts. Which way is he gonna lean? And if he leans with the other one, instead of being a 5-4 victory, it'd be a 5-4 loss. So. And I guess it's better to not have a case than to lose, I guess. I personally myself, I think it would be better to have the case and lose than not have it at all. But maybe as I said, I'm not that smart, so maybe I'm missing something. So there we go. Okay. What's next? Oh, what have I got on my thing here? Oh yeah. For anybody from Texas, did you see that? I know it doesn't affect us here where I'm at or where you guys are, but their a state representative is putting a bill in Texas for concealed carry, not concealed carry, for constitutional carry at their next session, whenever that is, because they only meet once or twice a year or once every couple of years, whatever it is. And they're very confident it will pass this time. So that's coming to Texas. So that's what I'm saying. We got to take these little wins one at a time. Like here in Indiana, we got the free pistol permit now. So the next step after that will be constitutional carry, Ohio said, what is the current situation RBG stage 4 cancer. I have no idea, to be honest with you. They're more likely keeping her alive just to stop Trump from picking another one. But I don't think, I personally don't think she can go. And when Trump wins in November, I don't think she can hang in another 4 years. I really don't. You know? So,
I think
I don't wish ill on her, but
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think here soon we're just going to see her in a hamster ball.
You know? Because, I mean, she's one of the oldest ones there also. You know? And in her day, for her age, before getting cancer and stuff, for her age, she was a very fit lady. She exercised and done all kinds of stuff, went to the gym every day and everything else. But, you know, it's taking its toll on her. And I don't think she'll live another 4 years.
I think the shock of him winning would send her over.
What?
If Trump wins in November, I think the shock of him winning would actually be the nail in the coffin for her.
Yeah, well, I think I think the shock is going to affect a lot of people. If he doesn't, I'm sort of feeling that he's going to win from what I've seen and noticing. Yes, those two, the Biden-Harris ticket is a joke. And I don't see anything what they're standing for. They're going to do all this stuff, but they don't say how they're going to do it, except for raise taxes. You know, they want bigger government. The government has to take care of you because you're not able to take care of yourself. You know,
that should be a red flag that we got too much government going on as it is.
Yes, we have too much government now. You know, let alone have more. I think our government should be cut way back. But I know it's
stepping out of bounds,
but it's getting bigger than it needs to be. It really does.
Rick for president 2020.
You know, we don't need to create any new agencies. You know, we need to scale back on some of these agencies. How many alphabet agencies we got to do with the intelligence world?
I think it's 16.
That's way too. Why?
And most of them don't really interact with one another. So a few do on some levels, but some
and millions and millions of dollars go to each one of those because those agents, we pay their salaries because they're federal employees. You know what I'm saying? We pay
there's
for all
concern
that.
with overlapping fields too.
That's another thing too, is unfortunately, we vote people in, then those people we vote in, when things start happening, they don't come back to us and ask us what we think. They just do what they want to. But then again, that's what we put them there for. You put somebody there. If you expect your congressman or your senator to come back to the state and ask everybody, what do you think of this? What's the point of having him there? He's there. You vote them in to be able to make certain decisions for the people. But if he doesn't come, you understand? Am I explaining this right? You guys understand what I'm talking about?
I think so. You can't expect to agree with everything. You're voting for somebody's that you think they're gonna represent. Their judgment's gonna represent your beliefs in some way. But some things obviously they're not going to get along with. And then you have a lot of people just focus on a few things. How do you feel about healthcare or Second Amendment or this and that? If they check those boxes, they can live with the rest.
Yeah. then occasionally, I mean, then they have to. I'm not saying they can't. They should come back every now and then to feel what their constituents are feeling. But that's where they start after a couple of years of all this power. They seem to forget about the people who put them there. But we're just as bad because we keep, especially you guys there in New York, you keep voting the same people in. You know, time. I mean,
Not this one.
Look at Schumer. I mean, he's been there almost 40 odd years, same as Biden.
It's a cabal over here.
You know, they're you just keep voting the same people in because where I'm going is we should have less government, but I think people like being taken care of. You know, long as somebody else is doing it, doing all that stuff that you can't be bothered with, you're happy to let them stay there and keep doing what you can't be bothered with. So some of what's happening is we're to blame. You know,
Little insight on New York. One of my customers that owns apartment buildings here that I've done some work for, mainly roofs and stuff.
what, Trump?
No, he's tried to get me to go to his place in the city because he basically people he brings there get chased out. Because if you're not part of the union in certain places, basically you'll get your tires slashed, you will get jumped, all types. You know, it's almost like a little mafia when it comes to certain things. As far as, and I live in New York too, but if I'm not part of that group, I got to watch out. And this guy's offering like $1,500 a day to come around and basically be a maintenance man to try to fix things up in his place real quick. So, and I still turn it down because I've heard the stories and I know a couple people that tried it and it didn't work out well. Things are kind of tight knit.
Well, shoot, there was one time I was delivering to a job site in New York, and I got there, and they're like, "Are you a union driver?" No. And we actually had to, well, I had to retarp the load, take it down to our terminal in Bensalem, PA, drop it off there, and then they found a company that was a union company and had them get the load transferred onto their trailer. That way it was all union.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's wrong, I think. But, you know, why doesn't this guy who owns these buildings, why doesn't he pay a union guy to maintain his building?
He's cheap.
He's willing to pay you that. How much is the union asking?
$22 an hour usually.
Uh-huh. So, yeah. See, that's. I mean, we could go on that for hours. I mean, I don't believe. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think when unions started, they were good, but now, like everything else, they've got to the point where they're, to me, more detrimental to the workforce than they are a help now.
I see it as an issue locally, personally. Union people get certain jobs. There's no point in even bidding or anything like that. And they honestly take longer and do kind of crappy work. Now, I can't speak for every union out there, so please, no disrespect. There's different sectors, different places in a sense. But in my area, I'm not impressed. I can tell you that. And it's kind of upsetting when you see like 5 guys sitting around literally playing golf while another one's doing the job.
But I thought there was a law now. Like if you go work for that guy, isn't there a law saying you don't have to join a union? You don't have to be. I mean, if some place you work and it's unionized, isn't there a law now saying that you don't have to join that union if you don't want to?
I personally don't know.
I mean, as far as I know, for New York, as long as they're paying you the legal minimum wage, then you don't have to. But I've never heard of anything like what you're talking about.
I thought Trump signed a executive order on that, where you don't have to join the union if you don't want to. If you go work in a factory and it's a union factory, right? Like it said, if you work here, you have to join the union. I think now it's changed where you can if they hire you, you do not have to join that union. You know, Ohio says it depends on the state. Well, maybe I thought it was a federal thing, but I could be totally wrong. You know, like I am most of the time. See, I don't stay up on that kind of stuff because I don't work anymore. You know, I remember. I mean, when I worked for the federal government as a manager, I had to deal with the federal employees union in my job. Oh, and that was a pain in the ass. I hated it. If I reprimanded one of my people, he'd go run into the union. Then the union would come to me and say, "Why are you doing this? You're picking on him and all this." You know, it was a real pain in the ass. Or if I wanted to change their shifts around, I would have to get it okayed by the union. It was a bunch of crap, in my opinion. I hated it.
Give you competent workers, and it won't be a problem.
You know. So, but that's what I was, thinking on that. Hey, my next topic, I got another topic still on my list here we haven't touched, and it's totally. I mean, I've talked about it before in the past, but when it comes to your holsters, do you prefer leather or Kydex? Me, I'm a leather guy because there's a lot of Michelin tires here, and leather gives more. Kydex is stiff, and it, instead of rolling with the old belly here, it will stick into it. So I'm not really into Kydex that much. So, but what about you, New York Outcast? Leather or Kydex?
Both. Honestly, both. I think they both have a purpose. I use both regularly. So I think in some cases you're right. The leather may flex more, but that could lead to failures of retention down the road. If you're bending over somewhere, might end up sliding out, things like that. I don't know. I can't speak for every situation, but my gun's only fallen from my holster once ever in my life, and that was out of a leather holster. Granted, my daughter ran and jumped on my back, slid down my back, her leg caught it, and because it flexed, it flipped outward and boom, right down at a city festival. So it wasn't cool. Thankfully, nobody was injured. My gun was fine. Nobody noticed too much. So, and I didn't get shot, obviously. So everything worked out. But only happened in a leather holster. So I would keep that in mind.
Rich White says leather over Kydex, i.e., leather with a Kydex core. I've seen those, those inside the waistband where it's leather. The actual holster itself is Kydex. So the back of it's all leather, sort of like bends around your waist, but the actual holster itself is Kydex. I've never tried one. I don't know. I don't like carrying inside the waistband unless I absolutely have to. As I mentioned before, when I do, I mainly I'll carry, like if I use sort of like it looks like a belly band, but it's not. I can't remember the name of what brand it is now, but it's like a belly band, but it sits there and I can wear it all day long, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's really great. It's comfortable. That's why I like it. And some people say, well, unfortunately, because it's like a belly band, it's not Kydex or leather. It's it doesn't.
Nylon.
It doesn't keep the shape, so you can't reholster. what contest is there that you have to reholster your gun fast? You know, that's what I'm saying. When it's there, I mean, I take my time. I can get it in there. It might not go in real, hit it and first down, it drops in there, but I can get it in there. Or I have another. Do I have one here? Let me have a look.
Personally, I think that kind of carries from like the security field or law enforcement things, because you're gonna have to put your gun back smooth and have hands on or be doing something. But in your case, I don't see why it would bother you too much. In a self-defense shooting and the police roll up, worst come to worst, you drop the gun.
See, I also have these. This is a Remora. It's like a sticky holster, right? This is for my Model 85 revolver, and I just put it in my waistband, and because of the material, it just sticks there. It doesn't move. Now, will it collapse? It can. I mean, right now it's not, but when my pants are there and my big fat belly is there, it will push it in. So, but once you shot your person and he's down, right? Just pull the holster out, reholster it, and stick it back in. I mean, what is wrong with that? Why do you have to sort of like go bang and drop your gun back in your holster as fast as you pulled it out? Where does it say that you have to do that?
I think it's just for a lot of people, they just don't want to take their holster back off to reholster. And that gets into a preference thing more than anything. There's some people that are perfectly fine with that. There's other people that, they have no interest. That for some holsters that could involve having to loosen your belt or possibly undo your pants even. So for some, it's just, a preference.
Rich Wright says he has a Versa carry inside the waistband that's leather with a polymer insert in the front and the back. That's what he carries his P365 in. I'm in that range from what I was explaining, where you shoot the person, pull your holster back out and stuff. He said, let me write that down. Shoot person, take off holster, put gun in holster. Got it. Yeah.
But personally, I'm a leather guy myself. Like New York said, each one serves a purpose. For me, I prefer to go with a leather holster. I just like how they carry over Kydex, and I like the look of them better. And honestly, the look is probably more so the reason that I prefer the leather over Kydex.
I think it's the same with me, really. Yeah. I mean, like with my my 380, I carry it in a leather holster. I carry it in a what's that company, 1791 or whatever it's called, Yep. And that is some thick leather. I mean, that I've had that holster now since I've had the firearm, and that thing is as tough and as tight as it was from the day I got it. It's a bit scuffed up now, the actual holster, because I have it on my right side, and of course, when you're doing your seatbelt thing, sometimes it catches it, But I got around that. I have a seatbelt extension. It's about 10 inches long that sticks. It's permanent. It can come out, but I got it clicked in to the. I guess that's the male thing on the seatbelt. So when I pull over my seatbelt, I'm actually clicking it up here because I have this.
How much did that cost you, Rick?
Oh, I don't remember. Less than $20.
So there you go. You guys own a 2005 on up Subaru, and drive around and don't put your seatbelt on and want to get rid of that beeping. Less than $20.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Or
do
a trip
that.
to the junkyard.
So I can get with that there. It makes it easier for me to grab my gun too on the right side. You know. No. Oh, we lost blind shooter. All right. Yeah. So I mean, I said besides that nylon belly band thing I got, and I'm trying to think of the name of the company because they're really well made. You know, and I can't think of them now. But also, not only that, you can. Also, what I mean, I've got 2 or 3 of them actually, because I originally bought one for my because I was carrying it left-handed. Then I went and bought another one for the right side. And what I did for the right side was I actually took a piece of plastic and glued it inside the holster open. And I left it like that for a couple of days. Then I managed to pull out the piece of plastic, and with the glue, has kept it in that shape. It's got a little give in it, but it's easier to. I can reholster it without having to take the damn thing off. But if I want to, you know what I'm saying? Blind Shooter says, "Gotta run. Thanks for having me." Yeah, I appreciate it, Blind Shooter. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, damn, is that time? Let me do my quiz real quick for the people who got to run. I only had 3 entries for my question. What my question was, in the movie Last of the Mohegans, Hawkeye was the main character. I wanted to know what rifle he used. Well, the information I got, the answer people were giving me was a Kentucky flintlock rifle, which is correct. But the way it's listed under his rifle is a Pennsylvania flintlock rifle. The reason it was called a Pennsylvania is because that's where it came from. And you know what I'm saying? It was exactly the same rifle. But so I had one person that gave me both of them, and the other 2 gave me a Kentucky. So it was, I'm saying they're all correct. So let me hit my random picker here to see who my winner is. So there's only 3 of you, so you all got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. And let me hit my button. Oh man, first time entry. Angelina is the winner. I don't think she's here today, but she is the winner. So there you go. Well done.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I wonder what she wants to do with a bunch of patches and stickers. That's what she does for a living. But hell, why not? You know? So, all right. Now my question for this week and for the swag pack is I don't know. I think it's easy. I want to know what the armament, is that the word I'm looking for? Okay, the B-29 Super Fortress airplane. I want to know the armament. In other words, what firearm or what machine guns or whatever it had, what did it have, how many, and what they were. So that would be armament, wouldn't it? Isn't that the correct word, armament, on a B-29 Super Fortress? Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com by next Saturday noon to be entered into the contest for the swag pack. So there you go. You guys got that? Yeah. Very silent. Very silent. Okay. No answer. I normally get a 42 in the chat. I ain't even got that yet. You know, people are really slow today.
Yeah, multitasking myself, so my apologies.
Oh, okay. I wonder, that didn't sound too. It sounded a bit. I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. Anyway, you guys got anything you want to talk about? Well, we can wind this down.
Did you see what New York said to you in the side chat?
Side chat? No, I forgot all about the side chat. What am I looking at?
He's got a great video where.
Oh yeah. I saw. Okay, I read it. I got it. Yeah. The video for the one gun challenge or whatever it's called. You know, and
Well, there's that, but the Michigan governor.
Anybody watch New York Outcast's video where he calls out Squiblo to the one gun challenge with the governor of Virginia? You ought to go look at it. It's hilarious.
We should get some gentlemen's bets going to see if he's going to, obey his governor and accept her authority and bow down and submit. And
I think
should take some bets on.
Said in my new video on the Unloaded Media channel, I challenge you to do the one gun challenge. Oh shit! I didn't even watch it, so I've been challenged, huh? Let me write this down so I'll make sure I get it done. You know. So one gun challenge. Oh yeah, I can do this.
By the way, I think if you guys are tagging Affordable Armory in your videos, he's actually sharing them over in his, I think, community tab on his page. So it's a actually nice little quick way to go through and look at all the videos that are being done on this. Kind of neat to see all the different selections.
I will warn you, I've had a little trouble because I've checked on there as well. And the one, I'm only seeing Guns and Barbecue on his one tag. And the other tag, there's like 200 video games. So you really got to search. So I'm not sure, that tag's a great tag or not for it. But it is there. You just got to look pretty hard.
All right. So then of course, when I do it, I got to tag some people, right? So that's not a problem. I can do that.
You don't have to tag Patriot in the Dark because I think there's been 3 or 4 of us that have tagged him.
Has he done it yet?
I think he still has to record his. I haven't seen his video yet, so yeah, I think he still has to record it. But he said he was going to as soon as possible.
Actually, it was quite funny. I was talking about this. Was it Thursday on the daytime chat? I do, I'm on, or I join in on. I was talking about this, and I told those guys what I would do if I made the film or made the video. So I'm going to have to do it now. I'm not. And the reason I mentioned it was I said, "Damn, somebody's already picked it, the weapon that I would use." But that's all right. Somebody's already done the weapon, right? It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You could give a completely different reasons for it. So,
okay, all right.
Technically, I didn't even give reasons. I did my video a little different, but
oh yeah, you did.
That would be a whole nother video to me. If it's important, but it wasn't specified. So
when you were doing yours, you were talking and everything else, I was expecting you to use that one picture you got on yours where is it you holding a machine gun?
Yeah, the 50.
Yeah, I thought that was the gun you were going to choose.
If only I could carry that baby easily. Yeah, that's a problem to sneak in for dinner.
Yeah. So, all right. I mean that. Yeah, so, oh, and I watched your 3-2-1 rib video today. Was that today or yesterday?
Today. Yeah,
I watched that actually a little while just before I started the show today.
Awesome.
What do they taste like?
They were actually really good. I was using a new Memphis barbecue rub on those. The one that I had been getting, they weren't being sealed well, so they were real clumpy. And my mom had called me. She was at a grocery store a couple towns away. She's like, "Hey, do you need anything here?" I was like, "See if they've got like a Memphis barbecue rub or something." Because I find that some of the local mom and pop grocers have some really good no-name seasonings. So she ends up finding me Memphis barbecue rub there, and brings it to me. And just when I opened it, I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" The aroma that it had was incredible, and the flavor was just as incredible. You had a nice sweetness from the honey that I put on it, but just that overall barbecue flavor from the rub, because I didn't sauce these ones at all. This was just simply the rubs that I mentioned in the video that I put on there and the honey. And when I told people that at the party, they were surprised. They thought for sure that I had put barbecue sauce on them, and said, "Nope, it was simply the Memphis barbecue rub."
Yeah. I mean, look, and also when you were doing it, before you even wrapped them up in foil, you could see where the meat was falling off the bone, so you know they were going to be damn good.
Yeah, they were turning out real well.
Yeah. Now, that rub you used, that label, right? Yep. I recognize the label because I can't remember the name of the company, because where I worked in Rhode Island, he had that same label, but he had, as you said, the mom and pop thing. He had the name of his store on that label, but at the top it was. I worked for a place called Dunn's Corners Market, so it would say Dunn's Corners Market. Then everything else on that label was exactly the same as that one you showed. So it might be the same company.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It could be. Yeah. G22 was just commenting on my video, and he asked me what the name of it was, and it's like, it's a Memphis barbecue rub. But as far as is it like a Kingsford or McCormick or anything like that? I was like, it's not a big name one, but maybe that's that company's whole deal is, hey, we're gonna slap your name on this, so you have your own little branding. But I'm gonna have to look into that more.
Yeah, I'm thinking because I got a feeling that's the same company. It was damn good. It was damn good spices. It was damn good stuff. I know that much. I used to buy it when I worked for him because it was good spices.
Yeah, it's a absolutely incredible flavor.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to wind this down because my cats are circling. The big one keeps sticking it feels like he's sticking his nails in my leg because he's hungry. He'll sit there and look at me. Then every now and then I feel a jab in my leg where he's hitting me with his paw. Little bastard. Yeah, I see you. I know what you're doing. So let's wind this up. You got any shout outs or plugs there, New York Outcast?
No, just thanks for having me, and everybody have a great day.
I appreciate you being here too. Guns and Barbecue, any shout outs or plugs?
Well, as you heard, I've got the video on 3-2-1 ribs that just dropped today. I'll be doing one on a barbecue gun soon. Apparently, with the name of my channel, it's kind of a requirement that I do a barbecue gun. then other than that, just go check out that challenge that Affordable Armory came out with, the If I Could Only Have One Gun community challenge. A lot of really good, interesting choices being made by a lot of the gun channels that we all know and love. And just as always, thanks for having me.
All right, no problem. Oh yeah, that's a point. You didn't when you done the barbecues today. You didn't mention what gun you were carrying.
Let's say that was actually being done for a kid's birthday party, and I was like, I could carry, but
No, I can understand that. You don't want to freak them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just my cousin anyway, but nonetheless, I was like, I'm not gonna carry to this. But I probably would have had my 329 PD on. But then we got to go shoot a bunch of guns a little bit later on, so that was nice. We got to shoot a Ruger P85, 380 Easy, an LC9, a couple other things were there to shoot. So I was like, darn it, I should have brought my 44 anyways.
Oh, I got a question real quick. Is on this Winchester 22 Model 150, I can't find a serial number on it. I mean, it's an old gun. I mean, did Winchester put a serial number on all their weapons, or was there a time when they didn't do it? Because I can't find one on there. What I wanted it for, because even though what I'm saying, this thing is for my CNRs.
You said it's a 22, right?
I also use them. I got two. I got one for my CNRs. Then I use another one for my regular guns in case one's ever stolen. I got all the information I need.
Is it a rifle?
Yeah.
I say because I've got a 22 Winchester rifle that I've never been able to locate a serial number on.
Yeah, I can't see one on the gun anywhere.
And I
believe Winchester was around back when you didn't necessarily need a serial number. So depending on the year of it, it may be that just may be what it is.
Yeah, I mean they don't make them anymore anyway. It wasn't that. It's not that. I mean, originally it wasn't that expensive to start with. You know what I'm saying? But I was just curious. I was just writing it into my records. I said, "Oh, I better write the serial number down." I can't find one. So, all right, not a problem. So I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Midnight Range says he thinks before 1964, some guns didn't have to have serial numbers. So.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was 64 or 68.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. And I want to say thank you again. I mean, we've Angelina, you won the quiz. So there you go. I didn't know if you were here when your name got pulled up by the random picker. So you won last week's quiz. So there you go. All right. I want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. with Shooting with Disabilities. So thanks for stopping by on your Saturday afternoon. I really do appreciate it. We're coming to the end of summer. So let's hope things get better. So there you go. I will let you all go, and I'm looking for the reason I'm dragging here. I'm trying to find my page that has the turn live stream off. Oh, here it is. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all later. Have a good afternoon or evening. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Sabrina.
Adios.